today's Sunday meal prep video. I'm glad that you are joining me today. For the menu today, we are going to do some butterball sausage that we're going to roast in the oven, along with some green beans with some Parmesan cheese and some other seasonings on it. And then we were also going to do some diced potatoes with the Cajun seasoning on it. I'm going to do that in the Ninja Foodi on the air fryer function. And then for the other meal, I am going to do a Weight Watchers chili, which is a new recipe to me. It is a 0 point chili, and it just uses ground turkey, I think a can of black beans, a can of red beans, some diced carrots, some onion, some bell peppers, stuff like that. So it sounds really good and delicious. And then along with that, we are going to make some corn muffins, of course. And then I am going to make my chocolate protein cookies today. On last week's video, y'all, I tried a new recipe and I have not had time this week to play around with it to kind of perfect it. And I really miss my chocolate cookies. I'm going to tell you, I'm addicted to those things. They are so good. You just can't beat them. So I'm going to make my chocolate cookies. Plus I have a half of a can of pumpkin that's been in the refrigerator, I guess for 2 weeks now. I'm really not sure how long that stuff is good for once you open it in the can, but I'm going to risk it and go ahead and use it today because I do not like to waste food. That's one reason I usually make exactly what we are going to need for the week, and that's what I buy at the grocery store. That's it. Anyway, I'm also going to prep my breakfast for the week. And is there anything else I'm prepping? I guess just my fruit bowls that I normally do with my yogurt for my lunches, because y'all know I will take sandwiches for my lunches. And yeah, that's going to be it. So anyway, if you are new here, please go ahead and click that subscribe button down below. I would love to have you join the family, and also hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any time that I upload. I typically upload 3 times per week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and on Sunday. And let's get into the video. Okay guys, so I am getting ready to wash my blueberries, and I'm going to tilt you down and show you, but of course I always wash them in the white distilled vinegar. I feel like that's the best way to get all of the dirt off. And yeah, I will just let them soak for about 10 minutes. Charlie also just informed me that he thinks that my pumpkin that's been in the refrigerator for 2 weeks is not going to be edible. So we'll just kind of see what it smells like whenever I pull it out. I actually thought that it was a can of dog food or something in there and didn't realize that it was pumpkin until I was kind of organizing when I was putting away my groceries last night. And I saw it and I was like, oh, that's pumpkin. It's been in here for 2 weeks. I need to use it. So anyway, I'm going to wash the blueberries. If you can see behind me, Charlie has already prepped my pineapple, my cantaloupe. He's diced up the peppers for my breakfast, and he's also diced up the green peppers here, which are for the chili, and then the carrots, which are for the chili as well. And now he is dicing up the yellow potatoes that we are going to throw into the Ninja Foodi. And yeah, so the first thing I'm going to do is get these blueberries washed. I just like to go ahead and put my fruit bowls together, get that part out of the way, and then we will get into the actual meal prep. I'm going to let those soak for a few minutes while I get my containers and everything out, and then we will put together the fruit bowls. Okay guys, I'm ready to throw together these fruit bowls. I have my pineapple, my cantaloupe, and my blueberries. And I actually just remembered I do have some red seedless grapes. I don't know if I'll throw any of those in here or not today. I got those really just to make my I made a salad with blackened chicken tenders, and so I wanted something sweet in there, and I like grapes in a salad, so that's what I got those for. And of course I have some left over, so maybe we'll put some in my meal prep this week.
I've been waiting all my life for someone like you, like you. I would watch the days go by, wasted and blue. I was out of use. Now every day, every night, every moment with you, I'm walking on air. And every day, every way, I feel I can't lose. I wanna
Okay guys, here are the completed fruit bowls. I just made 6 this week because I actually have 2 left over from last week because I did not eat a fruit bowl yesterday because I had a salad for lunch instead. Anyway, I just went ahead and made it into 6 this week, and 6 yogurts, and then my diced peppers. So I've got this out of the way. Now we're going to get started on the sausage and the potatoes and the green beans. Okay guys, I am ready to start on the turkey kielbasa and the green beans, and then we're going to get these in the oven, and then I've got the potatoes diced, and all we have to do is season those up and get those in the air fryer. We'll probably have to do 2 batches of those, we'll see, but these will cook in the oven at the same time, and it's pretty simple. Which the turkey kielbasa is from a Skinny Taste recipe that I did one time. I mean, you literally just lay it up flat on the pan and let it cook in the oven. It says for 12 to 15 minutes. So I'm just going to put that on this pan. This one I'm going to do the green beans, and I am going to kind of season those up and put some Parmesan cheese on the green beans. But Charlie has already sliced up my turkey sausage for me, and this is the butterball. And I think this comes out to 3 or 4 points per serving. I will have to check that calculation because it was more in points the last time than what I expected it to be. He did cut some of these the wrong shape. They're supposed to just all be like sliced in the little ovals, but at first he started cutting them in quarters. So anyway, they won't all be exactly the same shape, but I'm sure they'll all still taste good. But I'm just going to lay these out here flat on this sheet, and then we will get the green beans on this other pan and get these in the oven. And this is 2 packs of the butterball turkey sausage. That's 13 ounces each, so this is a total of 26 ounces. So I'm going to use that measurement to calculate how many points it is, which I have it in my phone. I'll have to look and see what it was the last time. Since Charlie already cut this up and he threw the packaging away while I was getting ready. I mean, he's a great helper, but sometimes he kind of gets a little bit ahead of himself. But anyway, it's either 3 or 4 points per serving. And then same thing on the potatoes. So this ended up, I think, it's going to be about a 10-point meal for me.
Almost don't remember how it feels when you lay down in an open field, when you saw my dreams are turning real, so unreal. Do you like it better when the ocean's warm? Do you like it better when you see the sun? Do you like it better when the sky is blue? I know I do.
That took a minute, but I got them all flat. Especially the little quarter pieces, they are a lot harder to place on there, but I think that is good. Now let's get on the green beans. So for the green beans, I just bought this 32-ounce bag of fresh, they're already trimmed, washed, ready to eat green beans from Kroger, and I'm just going to dump them on here, and then we're going to season them up. And I'm going to spray them with some olive oil spray. And we are going to go in with some salt and some pepper. Then we're going to do a little garlic powder and maybe just a little bit of garlic salt as well. And then I have some Parmesan cheese. And so this Parmesan cheese is just the Kroger brand of Parmesan cheese, and I measured out 3 servings of it. And I will check, let me check and see what the points is, because that's the only thing that's really going to give this points. So yeah, so basically that will be 3 points divided into 6 servings, so it probably will end up to be 1 point, maybe not even a point. That's the good thing about the grated Parmesan cheese. So we're just going to add some garlic powder and a little garlic salt, and then we're just going to sprinkle the Parmesan cheese on top. I'm going to try to spread them as flat as I can so that they're not all overlapping, but it should be okay. This is the biggest sheet pan that I have. So the turkey kielbasa is supposed to cook in the oven for 12 to 15 minutes. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it in for 15 minutes. With the green beans, they may have to stay in a little bit longer, so we will maybe stir those once we take the turkey sausage out. But I have my oven preheated to 400 degrees, and let's just see how they turn out. Okay guys, I'm getting ready to start on the diced potatoes that we have here, which these are just those little yellow potatoes. I had 2 bags of those that I picked up from Kroger. And I'm just going to season those up with a bunch of things. I'm going to tilt you down and show you because it's a bunch of seasonings. And the main one is the Cajun seasoning. That, in my opinion, is what makes these so good. Okay, so of course we're going to spray them with extra virgin olive oil spray. I'll also spray inside the Ninja with that. Salt and pepper naturally. And then I have this Cajun seasoning. This makes them really delicious, gives them a little bit of spice. I'm going to put just a little bit of paprika on them, some garlic salt, and some chili powder and ground cumin, which I know I love that combination of those. So I'm just going to spray them and mix them up, put the spices on there, and might have to go through it a couple of times. We'll see. So y'all know I'm going to go in pretty heavy with the salt and pepper. Of course, you season everything to your taste. I always try to tell people that. Some people think I might oversalt or undersalt, but I don't want it to be bland. I'm going to eat this 3 times this week. And we'll just do a little bit of garlic salt. I don't know why I chose garlic salt this time instead of garlic powder, and a little paprika, a little ground cumin, which this one's almost empty, but I do have another one. A little chili powder. And then the Cajun seasoning. And I'm just going to stir that up and see if I need to add any more. Okay, so I think that what I'm going to do is just give it another spray with olive oil spray and do a tad bit more salt, pepper, and Cajun seasoning. Now, I think that is looking perfect. I think these are going to be delicious. I want them to be nice and crispy out of the air fryer. And I do like to eat these with some of the no sugar added Heinz ketchup, so I will dip these in a little bit of ketchup on the nights that I eat them as well. But I'm going to put them in the air fryer. Let's move over here or to the Ninja, which I am going to use the air fryer function. And I'm going to put it on 390 for, I don't know, probably 15 minutes or so. And I know we're probably going to have to cook this in some batches because this is a pretty small Ninja. We're just going to do half. I hope that's focusing. And let's see here if this is on. And we're going to choose the air crisp. We're just going to leave it on 390. And I'm going to take it down to 14 minutes. And then we'll check it and see how they look. And give them a stir and put them back in if they need to. I want them a certain crispiness. And press start. And that is it. So we will be back to see what they look like. Okay guys, I wanted to just give y'all a real close-up of this turkey sausage. And I just want to tell y'all how delicious this is. And I've actually never eaten it but one other time before. And I did do a video with that. And I was so shocked as to how much I loved it. You don't put anything on it, you just slice it up. And I did flip this halfway through so that it would be browned on both sides, but it almost like caramelizes or something. It is so good, y'all. Chef's kiss on that one. But this is the butterball turkey sausage that Kroger carries. So anyway, I highly suggest that. And then I also pulled out the green beans, which they are looking pretty good. I think those are done. I did leave them in a little bit extra time than the turkey sausage. And I'm almost through with my first batch of the diced potatoes and ready to put the second batch in. And anyway, I just wanted to show y'all those real quick, that those came out. Now we're going to start on the chili. Okay guys, I'm going to go ahead and plate up the turkey sausage and the potatoes and the green beans before we get started on the chili, because everything finished. I took a break for lunch and just want to kind of get this cleaned up and out of the way before we start on the chili. So the turkey sausage, I bought 2 packs of 13-ounce turkey sausage each pack. I bought 2 packs of turkey sausage that was 13 ounces each. So I know I started with 26 ounces. So I weighed this after I cooked it, and it's 17.9, so pretty much 18 ounces. So we're going to get about 3 ounces each per container, and then I'm going to weigh the potatoes and see how much that is and divide it that way as well. So I am just going to pop these up here. I don't know what I did with my tongs. Here's my tongs. So I'm going to go ahead and measure out 3 ounces. I'm just going to put it on the little small end. I'm just going to put the green beans in a separate container just because they are too long to fit in these containers, along with the potatoes and the turkey sausage. Okay, that's perfect. About 3 ounces in each one. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and just weigh out the potatoes and see how many ounces of potatoes we get each. So I've got 23.5 ounces there, 4 ounces each, divided by 6. So we'll just see if I can measure out about 4 ounces per container.
I'm feeling way too low to start this night, but I wanna get to your bash. Last night you tried to make me angry, yeah, but this time I get you mad. Oh, don't need apologies, enough for this, I'm burning for you. Can't get enough of the weekend. I wanna seize the night like I can't let go. Can't get enough of the weekend. Don't wanna ever get lost to the sun.
Okay, so got those done. Now I'm just going to put the green beans in these other little kind of long containers, and I'm not going to measure those because they're either going to be 0 or 1 point. Yeah, since these are long green beans, I figured they would just go better in these containers. And they're pretty yummy too with the Parmesan cheese on there. I've seen people use like ranch dressing and like the powder on them before, but I don't have any of that. So I just use Parmesan cheese. Okay guys, here is the completed turkey sausage, the diced potatoes with the Cajun seasoning on them, and then the green beans that was roasted in the oven with the Parmesan cheese, garlic powder, salt, pepper, all of the other seasonings you saw me put on there, but these look delicious. And this meal should come out to be about 10 points. There's 4 ounces of potatoes there, and yeah, it looks yummy. In fact, I know that the sausage is good, and I know that the potatoes are good, and actually the green beans, I've already tried a bite of everything, so I know this is going to be a delicious meal. Okay guys, I am getting ready to start on this Weight Watchers 0 point chili recipe, which for that you need 1 pound of the extra lean ground turkey breast. I don't know if that's going to focus or not. That is the 99% lean. It calls for 1 cup of diced carrots. This is obviously way more than a cup, but Charlie just got carried away and diced up the whole bag of little mini carrots, and I was like, you know what, it's 0 points. We're going to put it in there. It's not going to hurt us. A cup of diced onion, so I'll probably just use about half of that. We really don't like onion that much, but I think it will add a little bit of flavor. It calls for a cup of diced celery, which actually didn't get my diced celery now that I'm looking at it, but that's fine. I don't have to have that in there. And then it calls for either zucchini or green peppers, so we just decided to go ahead and do green peppers, which it calls for a cup, but we just did 2 green peppers. And then you're also going to need a can of tomato sauce, a can of Rotel with green chilies, which I've got this Hunt's fire roasted diced. We're going to use that because I didn't have any Rotel. 2 cans of diced tomatoes, and I've got that. And then 1 can of kidney beans that we will drain and rinse, and 1 can of black beans that we will drain and rinse. And I need to get out the tomato sauce because I did not get that out. But anyway, for the seasonings, I've already mixed everything up here. It calls for 1 teaspoon of cumin, 2 teaspoons of chili powder, 2 teaspoons of salt, and I went ahead and added a little bit of pepper, which I just used the salt and pepper from my little salt mill thing here. I don't know if y'all have seen that before. Sometimes I use salt from here, but I have pink Himalayan salt in the bottom, and then I have pepper, and then I have my regular salt. And I love this little thing. I got it on Amazon, and it is linked in my Amazon store if y'all are interested in that. And so yeah, basically you just brown the ground turkey and then set aside, and then we're going to saute the carrots, onions, celery, zucchini, add a 1/4 cup of water, cook until that's soft. Once they are softened, then we will sprinkle with the seasonings, cook for a couple of more minutes, and then we'll add back in the ground turkey breast, vegetables, all remaining ingredients, everything together, bring it to a boil and simmer for 30 minutes. This also has instructions for doing it in the Instant Pot, but I wanted to use the air fryer for my potatoes. I didn't want to use the Instant Pot function on it. Plus I haven't used that yet, so that will still be like a new thing for me to try. But anyway, I think this is going to be delicious, and let's get into it. Okay guys, I am ready to get started on the chili recipe. The first thing it says to do is to brown the lean ground turkey breast, set it to the side, and then we're going to saute up the veggies and stuff and then mix it all together and basically let it simmer. And I'm going to do it all in the same pot. I have this huge pot. I'm going to brown the turkey, and then I'm just going to put it into a bowl or something, and then I will saute the carrots and the onions and the peppers and stuff and cook those until they're soft, and then we'll just put everything back into the pot and the tomato sauces and everything, the diced tomatoes, and bring it to a boil, and then let it simmer for 30 minutes. So seems pretty simple. So I'm just going to spray my pan with some of this olive oil spray and get my ground turkey in here. And this will probably take a few minutes to start browning. And I'll probably add a little salt and pepper just straight to the turkey. And then we will take this out and get everything else going. Okay, that's almost browned up. I'm going to grab a plate to put that on, and we'll start on the vegetables. We're going to put a little more cooking spray in. And we're going to go in with the carrots and the peppers. And it calls for about a cup of diced onion. And then I need to add a 1/4 of a cup of water. So pretty much this is just going to saute until the vegetables are softened, and then we'll add everything else back in and let it simmer until it's ready. I'm going to get my cans and stuff open while this sautés. Okay, so the carrots and peppers and onions have been sauteing for quite a while now. I think that they are probably pretty soft. The carrots may not be, but it is going to simmer on the stove for a while. So now it says to go ahead and add in the seasonings and cook for a couple of minutes. Oops, I almost dropped that bowl. Add those in and cook for a couple of minutes until the seasonings are fragrant. So I'm just going to give it a good mix, and then it says you can start adding back in all of the other ingredients. So it's been a couple of minutes. I'm going to go ahead and add back in the ground turkey. And then I have the can of black beans and red kidney beans, drained and rinsed. I add those in. I have 2 cans of diced tomatoes. I'm going to put both of those in. There's 1 and 2. And then I have my can of, well, it's supposed to be Rotel, but I didn't have Rotel, so I'm going to use this. It's the same thing. And then 1 can of tomato sauce. I always tell people be careful on your tomato sauce. Not all of them are 0 points. The Publix one is 0 points. I know they got loud there for a minute, but until it heats back up, basically you bring it to a boil, and then we're going to turn the heat down and let it simmer for at least 30 minutes. Once I get it to that point, then I'm going to go ahead and start on my corn muffins and my chocolate cookies. Okay y'all, this has come to a nice boil. I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat down to a little bit less than medium and put the lid on it and just let this simmer for a while, and we are going to make the corn muffins. And I love this big pot. I will see if I can find it and link it in my Amazon store. It's really nice and big. We picked it up at Marshall's or TJ Maxx. I'm not sure the brand, but I will look once I'm finished and see if I can link something similar for you. Okay guys, I'm ready to make the corn muffins. I'm actually going to make a little bit extra so that my granddaughter can have some. So I'm going to use 2 cups of cornmeal. Typically for 12 muffins I just use 1.5 cups of cornmeal, but we're going to go ahead and make, I don't know, maybe 18 today. We'll see. And I'm going to go ahead and use 2 full cans of the cream style corn. Normally I just use 1.5 cans, but always plug everything into your recipe builder. These come out to 3 points per corn muffin, and I think if you have 2 of them, it goes up to 7. It's got that Weight Watchers math. Then I'm going to put 6 egg whites in. Six tablespoons of egg whites. And that is it. I'm going to stir that up and get these into the muffin tin. Okay, and then I have 2 muffin tins here. I'm going to make 18, so I really just need 1.5 of them, but I'm going to back you up a little bit and grab my spray, which I do like to use this Pam, which is like the Baker's Joy spray. This can's almost empty. Okay, and then I'm just going to use an ice cream scoop to try to scoop this as evenly as possible into the muffin tins. Okay, there we go. We're going to put them in the oven. It's preheated to 400 degrees for 15 minutes. Okay guys, I am ready to make my chocolate peanut butter protein cookies. For this, you are going to need 1 scoop of the Matrix peanut butter cookie protein powder, 1 scoop of the PE Science Select chocolate cupcake protein powder. Both of these I have linked in my Amazon store down below in the description box, so that you can easily access it if you want to make this. You can probably pick this up as well at like a vitamin shop or nutrition factory or something like that in your town. I'm going to use half a can of the pumpkin and about 7 or 8 grams of the Hershey's Special Dark Cocoa mix, a heaping tablespoon of baking powder, 5 grams of the sugar-free Jell-O chocolate fudge pudding mix, and then about 100 grams of egg whites. I just have the Pam baking spray out to spray my pan with. Once I get everything mixed up, then I will add in 14 grams of the Lily's dark chocolate baking chips, the no sugar added. And these come out to 1 point for 2 cookies, 2 points for 3 cookies. And they are delicious. Very, very good. So let's get them ready and in the oven. And I've got to order some more of this. This is really low. So I'm going to do 1 scoop of the chocolate protein powder, 1 scoop of the peanut butter protein powder. Some people have said that they've used PB2 as well in place of this and that it's been good. And I'm going to pop this on my scale to measure out my cocoa and change it to grams. And y'all, this particular food scale that I have, I bought it on Amazon, I think back in 2012. And I tried to find it to link it in my Amazon store and I could not. So I linked one that seems similar, like it would be really good. If y'all want to pick one of those up as well. I love my food scale. If this one breaks, I'm just going to immediately have to get another one because I can't live without it now. And then we're going to add in 5 grams of the Jell-O sugar-free chocolate fudge pudding mix. And then a heaping tablespoon of the baking powder. And then we're going to mix the dry ingredients really well, and then we will start adding in the wet ingredients. Okay, I think that's mixed pretty good, and we're going to go ahead and tear this out, and we're going to go in with, so we're going to use half of this can of pumpkin, which it says it's 425 grams. And so I'm going to try to do about 210 grams or so. There we go, perfect, 213. And I've decided not to reuse that one that was in the refrigerator that had been sitting there for 2 weeks. So anyway, Charlie got me worried. He's like, oh, you don't need to eat that, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't want to ruin my cookies either, so. Anywho, we're gonna do about 100 grams of egg whites and then stir it and see how the consistency is. Okay, I think that needs a little bit more egg whites. I don't want to do too much. I think that's what I did last week on my failed attempt at making a different cookie recipe. It was way too runny. Okay, now this is looking good and perfect. I don't know if you can see that, but it's just kind of nice and creamy. And it will still hold together. I'm going to add in my 14 grams of baking chips. Go, perfect. And then we will get them on the baking sheet and get them in the oven. I'm going to just spray my pan with the Pam baking spray. And then we're just going to scoop out 12 cookies. And I try to start off a little small and then just go back and add the extra as I have it. Okay guys, so I got the 12 cookies on here portioned out. I'm going to put them in the oven for 9 minutes. Typically 10 minutes is the most that I would leave them in. They will be kind of puffed up and really soft. You have to let them sit for a while, and then I just store them in the refrigerator in a Tupperware container. Okay guys, here are the cookies fresh out of the oven. If you can see, they're kind of puffed up. This one is the biggest one. They are really soft and squishy, but they will flatten down as they cool, and then I will just store them in the refrigerator. Then what I like to do is heat them up for 30 seconds before I eat them. Super excited. I missed my chocolate cookies last week with my other cookie fail. I still ate those others, but it wasn't as good. But I am going to perfect that other recipe. I just need a little time. Okay guys, here is the completed chili. We just went ahead and divided it out into 6 servings. Once I put this into my recipe builder, this did come up as 2 points because of the kidney beans. That whole can of kidney beans was 11 points, and I know I drained it and rinsed it and it probably took some out, but I am just going to count it as 2 points. The recipe says that it is 0. It also says that it is for 8 servings, and I just divided it into 6 servings. But watch your beans. If I really thought about it and known that those beans were going to be so high in points, I would have just used black beans or maybe pinto beans or something like that. That would be less points. But we did let it simmer on the stove for a lot longer than it said, just because the carrots didn't seem to soften up fast enough. So I just kind of left it on low while I cooked everything else. But anyway, it smells good. It tastes good. Obviously, we haven't eaten a full meal of it yet to give a full review, but you know, I think that it's going to be fine. I still don't think it's going to be as good as the taco soup. You know, Charlie always wants the good soup or whatever. We always go back to that. But here are my corn muffins. They turned out perfect. 12 of them are for me and Charlie so that we can have 2 each night with our chili. And then I made 6 for Athena if she wants them. And then if she doesn't eat them, then Charlie will just eat the extra muffins that she does not eat. But anyway, those are 3 points each, and I think it rounds up to 7 for 2 of them. So that will make this a 9-point meal for me. But anyway, it's looking delicious. Here are the completed cookies. I just wanted to show you how they do kind of firm up once they cool down. They are completely cool at this point. I'm just going to get a picture of everything, and then I have just a Rubbermaid container I put them in the refrigerator. That's how I store them. Okay guys, here is the completed meal prep. I've got my turkey sausage, the diced potatoes with the green beans, and then we have our chili, which is 2 points per serving. And then I have the corn muffins to go along with the chili. I have my cookies for the week. I'm super excited about those. I have my breakfast cooked for the week. I have all 5 days of scrambled eggs, and I have 10 strips of bacon there so I can have 2 each day. And then for my lunches, I have my fruit bowls prepped along with the yogurts. So overall, I think this was another successful meal prep. Okay guys, I finally finished my Sunday meal prep. It was a lot of work, but it is so worth it to be prepared for the week. I have all of my dinners prepared, half of my lunch. I just have to make my sandwich every day, all of my breakfast prepared, my desserts prepared, and my snacks as well, which my snack is kind of easy grab and go. But anyway, I'm glad that you joined me. If you are new here, please go ahead and click that subscribe button down below and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any time that I upload. I typically upload on Tuesday, Thursday, and on Sundays. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks guys.